Hey folks, welcome to the show today. Glad you joined us. We're going to have a great show. We got Dr. Tera Barnhardt that's with us. And before we get to Tera, I want to talk a little bit about thanks to the guys down in Alabama, Mogo Goulet Cattle. What's Goulet? Goulet is a Wagyu Charolais cross. So a new breed of cattle coming out of Alabama. Thanks to them sending up. Great jerky, by the way. Now, we're going to talk about what you can do as a millennial or as a female veterinarian working into a cow-calf operation. Dr. Barnhardt's one of the best veterinarians I know. It's going to be a great show.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Hey there and welcome to Doc Talk. I have a special guest today. Dr. Tera Barnhardt is with us. She is the coordinator of animal health and welfare at Cattle Empire, which is located in Sublette, Kansas, down in the southwest corner. Would that be your address? Or
all of our facilities are in Haskell County,
okay.
And Cattle Empire is all located in that county, but our address is Satana, Kansas. And I've actually played golf at the Satana 9-hole golf course. But anyway, it's a pleasure for me to have Tera on the show. She is a former undergraduate student, veterinary student. We've known each other, but she's always been someone who has pushed me, someone that has always been there as a friend and a colleague. And so to have you here on the show just means the world to me. Well, that's a pleasure to hear that. And I don't know how you even follow something like that, because you've always been a good friend and mentor of mine as well.
So it's fun. And Tera, talk to me a little bit about, today's show we're going to talk about being a millennial and being female and being a veterinarian. And, when we talk about millennials, we hear, well, the people want to live in the basement of their parents' home, right? And then the female breaking through the veterinary ranks as a food animal practitioner, as a woman. We really want to just kind of shed some light on that. But above all, I will tell you this. This is one tremendous veterinarian. And I'm tickled to death to have you on the show just so we can get your input and some of your interactions. So talk a little bit about your path to veterinary medicine.
I grew up on a family farm and ranch there in Satana, Kansas, so I haven't really ventured very far. I've come full circle back to my hometown to work. And I wanted to be a veterinarian when I saw my veterinarian interacting with our family and working with us on a daily basis. It just sparked my interest, and I thought that's where I belong, working out with people, serving the beef industry, and getting my boots dirty on a daily basis. So I saw what he was doing for our family and how much I learned from him, and that kind of inspired me to go to K-State and get my education in that.
I think that it's something that it's a passion. There's a passion for animals, but there's an equal passion for two other things, and that's a passion for the people that raise the animals and learning that drive veterinarians on a day-to-day basis. And so from there, when you graduated veterinary school, you went right into a mixed animal practice, correct?
Yes, I worked at a mixed animal practice right after graduation, and I took on almost exclusively all of the bovine clientele because that was my interest. And so managing all of the animals, walking into a veterinary clinic is very different, a big adjustment as a new grad, but taking on the bovine clientele was something that presented its own challenges, but it was a lot of fun for me to do as a young veterinarian.
And today you're on staff for dairy, calf ranch, and cattle feeding operation.
Yes.
Great. Well, we're gonna start getting into some of the things and talking about the progression. I know you all have questions about your veterinary service, about millennials, different things of that nature. Dr. Tera is going to answer them right after these messages.
We do business with Blueville because of the quality of their work. It is excellent quality, and because they make a commitment to their customers.
We enjoy the benefits of hiring a good company to help us maintain this home.
We will always do business with Blueville. We have for many, many years, and there's no reason for us to look for any other service.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
This segment brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook. Visit us online at sftmeats.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Tera Barnhardt. Hard for me not to say her name. I know it. But anyway, names change, and Sheldon's a great guy. So
He's a lucky guy,
that's
right?
right. He is very lucky. Now, when we start talking about moving, and going into the veterinary profession, and again, we're talking about millennials and female veterinarians, just talk a little bit about your experience of when you first got into practice, and you and I both have discussed before the show. This isn't a show about, this isn't a feminist movement or a sexist movement or anything of that nature. This is just, hey, let's talk about what you see, what's coming, and how we deal with it and work forward.
Absolutely. When I first got into practice, I remember visiting with some of my bovine clients, and they would refer to me as Miss, and it wasn't offensive because there's a statistical fact that a lot of beef producers are older gentlemen, and that's who you're going to deal with when you're working in that industry. And so I knew I had arrived and I had found my place when they started referring to me as Doc instead of Miss. And so there's not a lot of things working against me, more so than my age, I believe, because when you walk out there, you got to earn your ranks, and your gender isn't always the issue at hand.
Right, and I think it's important that, they did the same thing to me. I remember walking into the feed yard the first time and then saying, hey, rookie, or, and the time when someone said, well, maybe you ought to be leaving the check on my desk instead of me handing you a check, because I feel like I'm teaching you more than you're teaching me. And so, we go through that ribbing and that, but that's when you know that you're part of the group too.
Yes.
It's when they, it's when they say, I don't want that one. And there's nothing wrong with them saying that, it's no different than me wanting a second opinion or a different doctor to look at my knee or my daughter's knee or something to that nature.
Absolutely.
We all have those types of things. So talk a little bit about apprehensions you might have had.
It's a little hard to walk into an operation of any size. People drawing their daily paycheck from their beef herd or their feed yard or their growing operation, and it's really hard to walk in there as a young person and tell them things that they're doing wrong, and those kind of vulnerabilities are difficult to deal with because nobody wants to hear that, let alone from the person who just arrived on the ground from college. And so
right.
Those are some difficulties that anyone would face breaking into those family businesses.
Well, I want to take a break, but when I come back, I want to talk to you a little bit more about what can farmers and ranchers do when they see a new veterinarian or when they're working with a new veterinarian to kind of help bridge that gap, help gain confidence, and actually get more out of their veterinary service.
Okay.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching Doc Talk. More with Dr. Barnhardt when we return.
I was in an accident where I fell off a roof. I took the conventional route by using medicine, and I went to see numerous doctors. I found that it really wasn't working as well as I had hoped it would. I don't know why I started to research stem cells, but I did. And I visited with the doctors. They were excellent. I had my neck done, I had my shoulders done, I had a section of my back done, my hips, my sacrum, my sciatica, and my tailbone. But it wasn't really that painful. I was surprised at how easily it was done. It took me approximately 4 hours from the beginning to the end. Now I am having better range of motion in my arms and my neck and my back. So it's been very beneficial to me, and I want to thank Kansas Regenerative Medical Center. It was a long road to get there, but I'm so glad that I found them.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information. Tarwater Farm and Home has been family owned and operated since its beginning in 1978. What you need for farm and agriculture, lawn and garden, clothing and footwear, and so much more. You'll be surprised at what you'll find in this huge store. They have what you need and lots of it. So come take a look. You'll discover that customer service is first and foremost. Always has been with the Tarwaters. Tarwater Farm and Home, 4107 North Topeka Boulevard.
Healthy cows start with the new hired hand automatic livestock sprayer. Rancher invented to provide an efficient alternative to pour-on and injectable parasite management systems. The portable design allows cattle to treat themselves head to hoof. Strategic device placement with pass-through activation technology takes the stress out of parasite treatment for cattle and the rancher, leaving more time to tend to other vital tasks on the farm. To learn more, visit cowsprayer.com. The new hired hand makes healthy cows easy.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org. This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Hey folks, welcome back to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Tera Barnhardt, and we are in Wildcat Country, where Dr. Barnhardt is a Kansas State University alumni from our veterinary school and undergraduate, is a true Kansan and someone that has really been supportive of our programs at K-State and supportive of agriculture in the state of Kansas. This is one of the rock stars of the future, and we're tickled to death to have her here on the show. And Tera, talk to me a little bit, because one of the things is you know, it's okay to be rough and gruff, but what are some of the things that farmers or ranchers could do when a new veterinarian, male or female, but because I think that's really the one thing that you said today that made me feel good was being male or female really wasn't the problem. It was more of, okay, now I'm a new vet. I'm the young person coming in. How do I make an impact, or how do I do that? Well, can producers or ranchers do something to help you?
I think just that invitation to come out to your operation. That's the big thing, is get your veterinarians out there on the farm, seeing what you do. We can't help or offer advice on things that we don't know are going on. And there's a lot of times we're in the clinic, busy with clinic work, and if you just called and got us out on your operation, that's the first thing. Getting your foot in the door, connecting with someone, building that trust and saying, I accept your advice and I want to utilize your expertise in my business. And so that's the first step, is get our truck out on the highway headed towards your farm.
Yep, I think that's a great point, because you got to build the relationship, build the trust, and you have to understand, okay, what kind of operation do you have? What are your facilities? What are your expertise? What kind of cattle do you have? all those things are going to be rolled into making your decisions, aren't they?
I think a big thing that I worry about is my safety, because if I get hurt on the job, I'm not going to be able to continue to work. And so those kind of things, if we can make sure that our facilities are safe, if we can make sure that we can handle cattle appropriately and safely for the animals, we can provide really good care collaboratively as a part of the team managing the operation.
Don't you think that also helps keep, we tend to think of the facilities at a veterinary clinic, but the facilities at farms and ranches could also have an impact on how veterinarians want to do work and feel safe about doing it and keeping that veterinarian within the area.
Absolutely. I love working in facilities that are well designed for human and animal comfort, and that's a big thing. If you're crawling in the side of a chute, and I have the ability to do that all day long, but I don't have the ability to do that for 30 years. So we have to make those kind of adjustments. That I understand it costs money to do that, but it's a good investment for your business to realize that you can bring that animal health expert out there and provide them a place to provide you a service.
So I think the big thing is making you feel like you're part of the production team, getting you out on the farm so you can see what's going on. You can't just talk about it over the water cooler at the clinic.
Or the phone. You can't text message this stuff and figure it out.
Right. So get you on the farm, make you part of the team, and have good facilities. Those would be some keys.
Absolutely.
All right, folks. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back with a wrap-up with Dr. Barnhardt after these messages.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
This Prevention Works Minute, brought to you by Beringer Ingelheim Vet Medica, Inc.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan here. Thanks for joining me on our Prevention Works Minute. When we start to think about preventing disease, a lot of times we think about the reason why animals get sick, either an overwhelming dose of a pathogen or a suppressed immune system. When we have a suppressed immune system, most of the time that's due to stress. And one of the things that I really focus on with our feedlot crews and stocker crews is low stress cattle handling. I think it's vitally important that cattle are handled and acclimated in a sense that we make sure that we do not increase the level of stress when we're handling. Make sure that they're exposed to you before you ship those animals, making sure that they understand the commands and that they're acclimated, so that when we ship calves to the feedlot or when we bring calves off the truck at the feedlot, we're practicing good low stress cattle handling. Will increase the immune response because we decrease the amount of stress that we see in those calves. And we all know that prevention works.
Did you know long-range planning through the checkoff can help keep your business profitable? To successfully pass on cattle operations from one generation to the next, it's important to promote beef and keep farms and ranches profitable. Your beef checkoff helps do that.
I'm Tom Perrier. Our ranch is called Dale Banks Angus. Dale Banks is not a person, but it's a place. This ranch was started by my great-grandfather. He came from northwest England, and his farm there was called Dale Banks, and so he called his ranch here in the Flint Hills Dale Banks. The beef checkoff today has fulfilled a lot of needs that our industry had over the years. We were very involved in trying to get the beef checkoff passed back in the 70s and early 80s because we saw the need then, and the beef checkoff, I think, has fulfilled a lot of those needs.
I think some of the biggest bonuses that we've gotten from the beef checkoff in the last 20 years have been twofold, both in the research phase of the industry, one being the Beef Quality Assurance Program that showed us just how much money we could capture by simply doing things like moving the injection sites from the hip and rump of the animal up to the neck. where we had less high-valued cuts. That drove millions of dollars into our industry. The other thing that our beef industry did about 15 years ago was embark on new product development. Things like the flat iron steak and things that used to get ground into hamburger and other low-valued cuts today are sold for a premium. And that too, just like the Beef Quality Assurance Program, has driven huge dollars into our industry that we all get to share.
Matt's the primary driver behind the operation right now, and he's the 6th generation, and his children will be the 7th generation.
I hope our kids are better at telling our beef industry's story. I think the last several years the Beef Checkoff has shown us how to do that better. They've given us some tools to do that, so we need to do a better job of telling the wonderful story that we have, and I hope our kids can continue to do that.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help? How can we help?
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook or Twitter.
Hey folks, welcome back to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Tera Barnhardt, and she is the coordinator of animal health and welfare for Cattle Empire. And they're located in Satana, Kansas, down in the southwest corner of Kansas. A great operation, great family atmosphere. Just one of the gems of Kansas and the Midwest when it comes to cattle feeding and cattle raising, and I'm sure you fit in quite well there.
It's a wonderful team to be a part of, and I feel really lucky to be able to be a part of the team at Cattle Empire.
Well, it's awesome, and I'm sure they feel the same way. Now, let's talk about young veterinarians. You know, we talked about, well, what can a producer do to help you fit in? You know, there's two sides to a veterinary client-patient relationship. So what's your advice to a young millennial veterinarian heading out there to go work?
I think my family we got to throw K-State back into it, because my family of Kansas State University graduates told me at a really young age that I could be anything I wanted to be, and they meant it. But that comes with the ability to work hard for what you want, to be passionate for who you serve, and to just treat every day like I'm going to work and I really enjoy what I'm doing. And so I think millennial veterinarians need to have that attitude every day. If we're going to go out with a servant's attitude and get out in the industry and do some of the hard work, but offer some of the services that our producers need from animal health professionals.
It's not quite like vet school, is it?
It's a little bit different.
Yeah, well, and I think that's one of the things I hear practice owners say, you know, that vet school, while we think we're doing a lot to train, it's totally different than getting into a busy practice atmosphere. You got to get this done. You got to jump on to the next case.
Absolutely. It's a fast-paced environment in the real world, and that's something we have to be prepared for and take on those challenges. I think the biggest thing in veterinary school is we're trained to always have the right answer, and sometimes in the real world you just don't get that luxury. And so figuring out how to make things work without always having the correct answer at hand, we still have to feed cattle, and we still have to make sure that the animals are taken care of. And so
yeah, and I think that, you know, hustling, understanding your trade, and being flexible and polite and humble and serving, I think those are all things that help us all be successful. But you know, it's some of those things we can't teach, right?
Absolutely. I think they're taught at home. Way before vet school.
Yeah, way before vet school. So we'll start putting that in the admissions requirement.
That'd be a good one. It'd be a hard box to check, but it'd be a good one to check.
You got it. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on the show.
And folks, thanks for watching the show. And thanks again to Mogo Goulet Cattle out of Alabama. Thanks for sending the hat in, folks. Always good to know that people are out there watching and sending things in. Remember, if you want to know what we do at Doc Talk, you can find us on the web at www.doctalktv.com. Always work with your local veterinarian. Thanks for watching the show today. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson, and I'll see you down the road.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.